Hello guys, welcome back again to Notary World Technologies. And as you know, my name is Edu Amankwa Isaac, and actually I am your tutor who is taking you through the app development concerning everything you need to know in computer programming. Yeah. Today we are going to see, we have learned so many things in the previous lessons. That is, we learned how to use hello world message box to create a software, and then we learned if statements and then other stuffs in addition to it. But today's lesson we are moving a little bit intermediate level because there is no time. We will be and in temper if it's a time no day. Okay, so that is what we are going to do. We are going to do a database management software. When I talk of database management software, I mean maybe you are going to create a software for a bank, a school, a community, a church, a pharmacy, any business center or any business cathedral. Let me put it in that state. Yeah. So that is what we will be tackling today. But before I get started, let me give some big shout outs to Mr. James Akon. That is my senior man, champion Bakope. Yeah, he really motivates me a lot in all my educational aspects, and I really love him a lot. Yeah. And then special thanks and then big shout outs to Isaac, the web programmer guy. He's really good. That is my one other side guy. So yeah, so let's see. Before you can start doing a database aspect or a database project, there are some things you need to know, and then there are some things you need to get before you can start doing something. So let's see. I have a paint here, and then for the paint, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the steps you need to get before you get to proceed. You need to learn. You need to know how to use progress bar and timer, and then you need to learn how to understand the codes very well. And actually, you need to be very fast in typing before you can get a good process. But it doesn't take one day to complete a software. You need to every day take a gradual process, and then you will reach to that level. So today we are going to tackle so many steps, but let's see the major steps we are going to do now. So for the first one, we have something called splash screen, right? We have something called the splash screen. So I'm going to tackle all these things. So we have the okay, all right, let me put my wires at the back of the keyboard so that I can type very well. So we have the splash screen. After the splash screen, we have something called security checkpoint, right? We have security checkpoint. After the security checkpoint, then we have your home page. Sorry, hey, stop it. We have the security checkpoint, and then after the security checkpoint, we have the recovery checkpoint. Recovery checkpoint. Sorry. All right, we have the recovery checkpoints, and then we have the creating an account center. Sorry. Okay, so these are all the steps you need to get as getting started with this. So let's see something here, and we have another one as well that is called the main form. So from the main form, you go to sub forms, and then from the sub forms you need to get your database forms. That is, if it includes multiple database, then you do a multiple choice database system, so it can be multiple. So we will get to tackle it one by one so that we won't get to lose anything. Yeah, and then from the database aspects, we must have the database edit, right? We must have the database edit, and then from that one too, we must have you can add an SMS sender software inside your what do you call it, your database system, and then you can add birthday notification to your application, so that when someone is really enjoying his birthday on a certain date, it will prompt you that a member in your church, a member in your workstation, a member in your school, a member in your educational complex, a member in your business sectors is celebrating his or her birthday on maybe next week coming Monday, or maybe let's say tomorrow, or the next day. So that is what we are going to do. And then after that, you just export it. You just export your project as executable file. Yeah. So but let's see something. Before you can start working with a database, you need to get access, Microsoft Access, on your computer, so that will help us to create our database files. That will help us to work along with the database. So let's say Microsoft Access. All right, so these are some things we need to get to know, right? All right, so let's see something. Let's work along with a splash screen. When we say splash screen, what does splash screen means? Splash screen, let me draw the diagram for you to see. Now we have something called a splash screen. This is my splash screen, so I'll call this splash, right? Splash screen, normally it is called the loading screen. That will give out, let's say this is your progress bar, and then it is loading, and then you can get, let's say it have loaded let's say 20% of it, and then that is the loading screen. So after it has completed loading, it just pop up your another form or another dialog, and then that is your security checkpoints. So let's say you have your security checkpoint here, right? You have your security checkpoint. So this is username, and then this is your password. Yeah. So after that, so first you need to pass through this, right? You need to pass through this before you can go to this. Then after this, after you have completed the login, that is the security checkpoint, then if you are having a problem with a security checkpoint, then you recover your password. Otherwise, you can create an account by using the account center. But let's see if you have successfully created the account. Now you can go into your main form. That is your main form. All right, so from your main, so from this to this, right? And then from your main form, now you can access your database, right? So let's call this database. I want you to basically understand what we are going to do. So all the data, this database is going to take care of all these stuffs, right? It's going to take care of all the necessary things you need to get from all these sectors. Yeah, but what we are going to do, basically we are going to tackle this for this lesson, so that on our next video or on our next lesson we will just go ahead with it. So we will be tackling all these things one by one till we drop, yeah, till we complete it very well. So don't forget to stay in touch with Not3Word Technologies. So first of all, let's work along with a splash screen. So I will just go ahead and then open up my Visual Studio, and I'm using the 2015 version. So I'll just create a new project, and then for this project is very important to me. So what I will do is I will just classify or categorize my settings, my folders, my options, my data, and everything I need to get. So I'll just go by choosing Visual Basic, selecting Windows Form Application, and then giving it a name. So I'll call this maybe Church Management Software. All right, then you can choose a directories where you want to save your project. So let's go ahead and then click on OK. Now you see, let me advise you guys a little bit. If you are learning Visual Basic, you need to get to understand what you want to do. Now we are going to work on the splash screen. For the splash screen, we have a default splash screen which is in the Visual Basic, and it serves as a template, right? So let's go to project and see that one. Add Windows Form Application, and then on the Windows Form Application you can see that we have a lot of options here. Yeah, now you can see that we have user control, component class, and then a lot of, but you can see that we have a login that is, I think we have a login form here. So you can add a login form, and basically it just gives you this options, or it just gives you up this information. And normally when you enter into the code, you need to set up some things yourself by visiting this website, so that you can follow it and then adjust some settings. So that is the manually setup. That is the let's say the default one it gives you. Now let's see how best we can work along with creating our own login form, and that is the most important thing ever. So I'll go ahead and then delete this thing out of my my project, and then this is my splash screen. Sorry, that was the security section I showed you, but we have the splash screen here as well. Let's check the splash screen as well. Now you can see that we have the splash screen here, and I add it. You can see that this is the splash screen, so it will just show the application title, the version of the application, and then the copyright content. So let's try to work along with that and see how best it works. So from my startup form, I'll just choose my splash screen, and then I will start it up. Now you can see that it will tell the name of the application, the version of the application, and then the copyright content of the application. So you can adjust all of them manually. Now you can see that Church Management Software version 1.1, copyright at 2018, and then actually it will take a while before it loads, right? So that is your splash screen. It is not showing up because you are now working on it, so you need to get some codes to it before it works. So we are not going to use this because we want our own splash screen and then other stuff. So let's delete the splash screen for the meantime, and then let's go to the properties of the for the splash screen. Let's use the let's use the form 1, right? All right, so let's close it. Now this is my splash screen, right? For the splash screen, you need to you need to get to know what you want to do. So for the splash screen, I will just go to my form, and then I will be starting by sorry I will be starting by show icon. That is false, and then I will show in taskbar. I don't want it to show in taskbar, so that is false. So we are going into the advanced option for once and for all. So for the form border style, you need to choose none because you are working on the splash screen. And then we have something called your start position. It starts from Windows default location, but I would like to start in the center of the screen. So anytime I badge my software, it just starts in the middle of the screen for me. Yeah, so that is it. Let's see if I can get some logo or design or something that I will just add up to it. So I will add a picture box. Yeah, so I will just dock it to the parent container and then stretch the image when I load it. Then I'm going to choose an image. Previously we have learned how these things work, so I will just bypass it and then go my way. Yeah, so I'm going to my D drive, and then I will be going in for, let's say, this picture. That is my own picture. Yeah, so yeah, that is it. So this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. So I will go ahead and then readjust my form and everything and in the other stuff. So first thing I will add is a progress bar, right? I'll add a progress bar, and then I add a timer. So the timer will tell how the progress bar should do, right? So this is the progress bar. You can decide to put it here. You can decide to put it anywhere you want to load it, right? You can decide to work along with it. And then I would like to add up a label. Yeah, I will add up a label, and then for this label, the back color I will be choosing transparent, right? I think I'm having a little bit concerning my transparency, but don't worry, we'll get to know more about it later. So I'll choose 16, and then you can decide to work along with it, but I don't prefer by using a label or something. You can decide to choose it for it to say maybe loading, please wait, and then other stuff, but I would like to leave it just like as I wanted it. So now we have the progress bar here, and then we called something GIF animation. We will get to know all those things, but basically this is what we are doing. Now when I start it, it just starts but nothing reads and then nothing shows. So what we are going to do is we are going to code it. So let's go to the timer, and then on the timer, let's set the enable to true. So as soon as we start the software, the timer is already running. So let's double click on the timer and then go into the codes. And I hope we have used a timer on our previous lessons, so you will get to know more about how to use a timer. So timer works along with the progress bar very, very, very nicely. So let's say progress bar, that is our progress bar, right? Progress bar 1 dot increment. So the increment of it should be 1, right? The increment of it should be 1. That is the increment. And then let's say if progress bar 1, right, dot the value, if progress bar 1 dot value equals to 100%, then something should happen. If the progress bar 1 loads to 100%, then it should tell us a message that loading complete. that is the message I wanted to tell me. So I want you to know that the progress bar increment, which is 1, is what is going to do the magic. So I will just start it, and then now you can see that it is loading. So if you have a nice customized splash screen, a progress bar, you can use it. That is it. So you see that it is showing all these loading complete. Yeah, so let's solve that. It's because the timer is still working. That is why. So we will tell the software that if the progress bar 1.value equals to 100, then our timer, that is the timer we just enabled, timer 1.stop. So it will just stop the timer before it pops up this message. So it won't be running anymore, because on our previous code we coded that if the progress bar dot value, that is the value, equals to 100, then only then the timer should stop. But the first we said then the message box should show. So if the progress bar 1 is 100, this message should show. The time is still running, so the progress bar is still at 100, so it will still showing up more message boxes. So when you say if progress bar 1.value equals to 100, then the timer should stop. Then it will pop only this message because you have stopped the timer, and then from the timer then it pops up this message. I hope you are enjoying this particular lesson very well, and then you just keep on moving with us, and then you get to know more about what we are doing. Alright, so let's test this one and see how best it works. Now you can see that automatically when I start the software, it is just working perfect as I wanted it to be. Now yeah, let's see something. Now you can see that it just tells me that loading complete. So let's see something. We are done, and then we are good to go. How can we fix this to our software? That is another issue. So I'll go to project and then create a new form. So I will call this my security checkpoints, right? Or let's say this is login, right? Let's call this login. So this is my login form, and as soon as it reaches to 100%, I want this to disappear so that the login form will just pop up. So I'll just go back inside the codes. Instead of telling me that message box message box should tell me loading complete, I won't let him tell me anything. So what I will say is if progress bar 1.value equals to 100, then my timer should stop. As soon as the timer stops, I should hide. The splash screen should hide. After it is being hidden, then only then the login dot show. So these are just some basic codes that and it really does the magic. So let's see. As soon as it gets started and then it's loading, let's see something. Now it is loading perfectly. As soon as it reaches to 100%, you see that it will just disappear, so that you will see your login form. So guys, thank you for enjoying this particular lesson. And actually, as I told you, we are going to do a complete software, and then it will really helps you a lot. So we will end here, and I would like for you to practice more, so that you get to know more about Visual Basic, loading, splash screen animation, and then the other stuff, so you can just manipulate it to anyhow you want it to be, like, yeah. So guys, we will see you in our next lesson, which is by working on the login form. Before I leave, I give a big shout out to Mr. James Akon once again, and then to all the tutors in North Technologies, as well as the students of North Technologies. Until we meet again on our next tutorial or lesson, have a nice day and bye bye.